Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. How are we all doing out there? This is the Championship predictions. Yet again, myself and Ollie are going to be talking about all things Championship and trying to predict the most difficult league in the whole entire world. I'm just going to bring him in straight in because, Ollie, did you do better than me again?
Just a little bit, Nick. Just a little bit. Just a little.
I'm not sure if the people out there remember what I said last week, is that I've probably gained more, I've probably won more weeks than you.
Almost
but when
certainly.
you beat me, you tonk me all over the place. And yet again, it has happened. I think, what was that, 14 plays, 5 or 6? I've lost
14,
count.
I think 14-6. And to be honest, I was a stupid Middlesbrough goalkeeper mistake away from an 18-pointer, and I'd have really fancied that.
Yeah. But this is every week, though, isn't it? We're always like a goal away from something great. Always a goal away. So, yeah, it is a frustrating one. I think I was a goal away with my banker as well. That would have been nice. But it wasn't to be. One of those things. And do you know what? I feel like I'm that meme. Do you know that football manager where he's like, I'm slowly falling out of love with predictions. That's what I feel right now.
Yeah, you're the Nathan Jones of football predictions right now. You'll start ranting about how you could have had a beautiful wife in Wales soon.
Yeah. But I chose not to. That was terrible. I hope there's no Swansea or Cardiff fans listening right now. Anyway, I think we should
Damien's
move on.
not coming back.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. We've got some peeps in the chat already, but before we get into it, obviously, let me pop up the table. The viewers running away with it, as we always say. Beastly Ollie running away with second place as well. You'll be catching up with viewers sooner or later.
That's the plan. One of us has got to make a push to really try and catch up. But of course, once again, they actually extended their lead. Had some insane scores this week. The two at the top, both of them deserve a massive shout out because I didn't think there was a cat in hell's chance that anybody would beat Peter Whittaker. He came out flying, 17 points, and I'd written it off. I thought, is there any point in me checking anybody else's scores? There was indeed, because he was beaten by Dr. Strangelove. 18 points and an absolute cracker of a week that is from him. Just top-notch effort.
Yep, that's it. And Lee has just reminded me that I am still in final run. I love how you remember that. I think I've gone for Liverpool in all 3 final runners that I'm still in. But the problem is that their website went down, so I couldn't change it. So I've got to roll with it. I've got to roll with it, and I'll be asking for my money back if I lose tonight. But this is before.
Who did I go for? Who am I out?
I don't know. You should know this, Ollie. Have you got that much money that you don't care about it anymore?
No, but I was distracted. I think I went Newcastle. I think I'm out. I think I've done myself on Bournemouth away again.
I'll tell you what we'll do. What we'll do is tomorrow night, me and you are both doing the preview, I believe.
Yes.
We will go and have a look and let everybody know. Oh, Lee knows. Yes, he's out. There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm with Andrew. I'm with Andrew. I think Everton's at least going to get a draw tonight, and I'm going to be absolutely devastated that I've gone for Liverpool. But this was before. Obviously, Liverpool's been rubbish for a bit, but Everton was so bad before Dyche. They really were, and they could be. It could have been a flash in the pan that last game. But let's see. Anyway, stop talking about the Premier League because, Ollie, this video has got nothing to do with the Premier League. We are talking about the Championship. First game, we're talking about Birmingham City versus Cardiff City. What does that mean, Ollie?
It's such an early battle of the cities.
It is. It's so early. So early. I love to see
First game up. I love it. You've got to get it out there early, get a battle of the cities in. But yeah, this is an interesting one. Obviously, a fantastic week, really, for Birmingham with that last-minute win against Swansea, then winning the derby against Albion. And they'll really be thinking they've got the momentum to just get miles away from that relegation battle because they've definitely got the quality in that squad. Whereas Cardiff, they're in trouble. They're dropping through League One's door, as it were. 14 without a win, no signs of any new manager bounce. But they did finally score a goal against Borough, which is something they don't often do. This just feels like a regulation home win.
I do. They missed a couple of good chances as well against Borough. It could have been a different story, but yeah, Borough are just way too good for teams like Cardiff City. 100%. Charlie Brown is back. Absolute legend, man. Joachim going for a 2-1 Birmingham. JohnEgan.com going for a 1. Have we seen JohnEgan.com for a bit?
I don't think he was in last week. Don't think he was in last week. Nice to have you back, JohnEgan.com.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. He's going to be taking the victory as well, I'm sure of it.
Almost certainly. He normally does.
And now the next one, home team are Coventry City. Is it going to be another battle of the cities? No, it's not. It's Millwall. Your favourite team.
My favourite team indeed, but I think this one really tough to call. It's just two evenly matched teams for me. Look, Coventry aren't in good form. They've been struggling to get wins on the board, but they always seem to be a really awkward team for anybody in and around that playoffs to try and beat. I think Millwall have proved over the season that they probably are the better of the two, but I just think this is going to be a pretty low quality, boring draw.
Yeah, I think you're right, mate. Need we say any more about it? I've gone for a 2-1 Coventry City win. I'm not 100% sure why. Millwall are pulling up trees right now, but Coventry City at home just always seem to fancy them. Lots and lots of people going for Millwall wins here. There's a Coventry win. There's a Millwall win. There's a draw. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Let's move on to the next one, which is another battle of the cities. 2 in a row.
Oh, wow. Well, not quite 2 in a row. Because obviously Millwall played in the last one.
2 in 3. 2 in 3. Oh, wait. Up to now, we've had 6 teams, 5 of them cities.
It's the week of the cities. Never mind the battle of the cities. But this is an interesting one. You know, I know you were, just before we came live, Nick was mocking me for this prediction. He feels as though I've lost my mind. But Hull have only lost one of their last 9 away games, and that was at Bramall Lane. Now, are Norwich as good as United? I don't think so on what we've seen so far. And I think Hull are capable of causing problems for just about anyone. So I fancy him for a point to keep that decent away record going.
Everybody's going tight. Daniel Yallop's the only one that's kind of gone with me where he thinks that there's 2 goals difference in this. But everyone going for really tight score lines. I think this is going to be slightly easier for Norwich. I think after a couple of poor performances, I think they're going to be firing on every single cylinder possible. Next up, let's talk about QPR versus Sunderland. And QPR, come on, man. That's a good accent. Sunderland. I've watched the Sunderland documentary 300 times. So when I say that's a good Sunderland accent, still probably a bad Sunderland accent, to be fair. But tell us about this game.
Absolutely awful. But I'm willing to give it you. You know what, Nick? It was brilliant. I actually think that if you get the opportunity, you should go on one of the Sunderland channels and do that for a preview. I think you'd really like it. Just you.
I'm sure they would. Why have you gone for a draw then?
Yeah, 1 win in 16 for QPR. So they were top of the league when they beat us at Bramall Lane in about mid-October. I think
they were really good at Bramall Lane.
They were really good. And they beat us, don't get me wrong, it were a bad goal for United to concede, but I thought they were comfortable in beating us 1-0, but they've only won 4 games since then. That's 4 games in, I think, 4 months, which is absolutely insane. They're no longer thinking about this promotion push, and they're just looking to try and stabilise. But Sunderland just keep ticking over. Good win last week versus Reading. I think it's hard to separate them. I think QPR will be desperate to try and just get something, anything. And while I don't think they're quite good enough, I think they'll get a draw. Charlie knows. QPR in it.
Yeah. We literally just said the same thing before we came on. Who did we say in it? Said someone else. It's just Championship, innit?
Just Championship, innit?
Yeah.
Just Championship.
Exactly. Yeah, I think I went for a QPR win last week. So, they're not doing me twice. Definitely not. So,
they'll win this week. That'll be it.
They will do.
You're back to the wrong week.
Yeah, they will beat Sunderland this week. Guaranteed. Anyway, let's move on to Battle of the One-Namers. Burnley versus Watford. 2-0 I've gone for. You've gone for 3-1. Burnley are just embarrassingly good. They just can't stop winning.
Ridiculous, to be honest.
Can we just promote them now? Get them out of the way. Sick of them.
We started off with you going, let's stop talking about the Premier League, and yet now we've got to talk about the only team I'm certain are going to be in the Premier League next season. There's 10 Premier League teams who I think are less likely to be in the Premier League than Burnley. This is insane. But yeah, we spoke last week about how they've massively overperformed their XG, and you said to me, is that sustainable? Is it something that they can keep doing? Would they do that every other season? They then immediately followed it up by massively outperforming their XG and smashing Preston. Just seems to be what Burnley do. Whereas Watford, they're about due a new manager. I think they'll lose this. They'll drop out of the playoffs. Would anybody be shocked to see a change? It's quite likely, I think. So, yeah, one to keep an eye on afterwards at the very least.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Now let's move on to talking about Reading versus Rotherham United, Battle of the R's. I need to get grip. I've gone for a 1-0 win to Reading. You've gone for a 2-1. We've both gone for similar scorelines. But as I predicted last week, Rotherham don't score many goals. And they drew 0-0. So I'm going for a 1-0 defeat this week. It could easily be a draw, though. I think that Rotherham are good for a draw every now and every week. What are you expecting?
Yeah, it's similar. I think this is going to be tight. Like you say, there's not many goals in Rotherham games generally. They don't score loads, but they also don't concede loads. But Reading are a really good side at home. They've got a cracking record so far this season. They got done 4-0 at the New York, so they're going to want to turn up for this and really just not let Rotherham do them again. They'll probably want a little bit of payback, albeit in very minor terms. Rotherham, like you say, have drawn 3 on spin, but I don't think they're going to panic if they lose this one. I think they'll know that they've probably got enough to stop up. But yeah, I think Reading are just better than them, especially with Reading playing at home.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy that Rotherham hopefully are staying up. It would be great to see that. It really would. Next, let's move on to talking about Bristol City versus Wigan Athletic. This is one I don't think is going to be for the neutrals. It's not going to be full of free-flowing, fantastic football, but both coming off the back of wins. Unexpected wins.
Unexpected wins. Yeah, I mean, I think, when I look at my prediction, I'm thinking to myself, Bristol City are on a 9-game unbeaten run in all competitions. They've won 4 of the last 5. They've just beat a Norwich team who I said were going to now kick on and really be one of the best teams in the division. Why do I not think they'll beat a team who I've spent months saying I've already relegated and we should just write off? I don't know. I just don't fancy them. I just fancy a draw.
Just fancy a draw?
Don't fancy it.
Nothing backing Bristol that to win
up. This one. Yeah, no facts, no stats. Just don't fancy him.
No, Chris has gone for Bristol City. Johnny Gunnock Bristol City. James Bristol City. Daniel Bristol City. Oh well, Andrew, we found a draw for you, Ollie. There you go. That's your draw. Enjoy it.
Andrew knows. I've always thought
Andrew
knows
ball. Next up, Preston North End versus Luton Town, and Luton are plugging away, aren't they? They're not. Don't get me wrong. I think they're going to. I'm saying they're going to fall away, but every single season they're there or thereabouts, aren't they? Last season they got into the playoffs, which is fantastic for them, and it's a club that I actually like to see do well as well because they seem to do everything right. But I've gone for a draw in this one. You've gone for Luton to win.
Yeah, I think Luton, like you say, they're a team that just seem to get better year on year. I don't know how they do it because they lose key players. They don't spend loads and yet they get better and better. But this one, for me, I'm just looking at the form, Preston have been terrible at home. I think they're still bottom 2, bottom 3 for home form this year, whereas Luton are fantastic away. They are only United and Burnley have got a better away record than Luton. And so this one just felt like a little bit of a, away win, as much of a, this is a no-brainer away win as you can get, I think, this one.
Oh, there you go. There you go. And I've just realised that I've not put my banker in. So we have to look what's left. Oh, God, there's not. Oh, my banker's left. I've got my banker left anyway. Let's crack on.
I've got a feeling we're going to bank it same game.
I don't think we are. Oh, no, we might do.
I think we're going to.
Let's move on. Let's talk now about Coventry City versus Huddersfield Town. And Huddersfield lost their manager. Did I say Coventry City?
You did,
City. Stoke City versus Huddersfield Town.
I looked at
your face then, and I was like, I've definitely said something wrong here, and I was retracing my steps. I'm like, Coventry's played already.
Yeah, they have indeed. But yeah, of course, Huddersfield not just lost their manager, but they've brought in their new manager today.
Of course they have.
One last throw of the dice. Sharon, I'm going back up north.
Get Paddy fit.
Got to get Paddy fit. Tongi's coming in. You've got to get the band back together for one.
Lee Bromby. Lee Bromby's still there.
Lee Bromby's there. Oh,
yeah. Get him right back. Get him launching some balls into the box.
It's bizarre that he's back one more time. And obviously, I didn't know that when I made this prediction, because we do this before the day of in order to be able to get all the graphics and everything ready. But how much of an impact can he have coming in today before a game tomorrow? Probably fairly minimal. I don't think he's going to change it immediately. Do I think he'll make them a better team for the rest of the season? Yes.
Yeah.
Do I think that means they will stay up? Possibly not, because it's a really tough battle this year. But he's going to have a go, and you've got to respect that, I suppose. But yeah, I just don't think he's got enough time to make an impact for this one.
Is he the Sam Allardyce of the Championship, Warnock, these days? Because he's kept a few teams up in the Championship.
Cardiff, didn't he? He did Rotherham. He must have done loads.
He's done a few, yeah. So I hope he does well. I really do. Obviously, Huddersfield Town are a Yorkshire club as well. We want to see other Yorkshire clubs do well, as long as they're not Sheffield Wednesday or Leeds.
Yeah, we've played Huddersfield twice already, haven't we?
No, we haven't played them away, I believe. I think it's right towards the end.
I'm not wishing well yet, then, because I'm not about wishing him well, because he always loves to stick it to United.
Yeah, he does.
So I'm not a fan of wishing him well yet.
No, let's see. By the time we play them, we might even be promoted. You never know. Or we could be well in the thick of it. So let's see what happens. Let's not think about it too much. Let's now talk about Swansea City versus Blackpool. And do you know what? Oh, you're bankering it.
Banker. I am bankering it.
Right. Okay. Let me just have a little bit of time to speak right now, Ollie. You went to Bramall Lane on Saturday, correct?
Correct.
You saw how shocking Swansea City were, correct?
Correct.
Why would you banker them? You're trying to get me back into the game.
Yeah, just thought I'd give you a chance. No, look, I think they need a win. Swansea need a win. I thought at Bramall Lane,
doesn't mean they're going to get it.
Yeah, but Blackpool aren't very good, Nick. You're forgetting that Blackpool aren't very good. They're on a terrible run. Honestly, they've got no wins in 13.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. That's fine. And yeah, Swansea might play better than they played against Sheffield Utd. They were shocking. Do you know what? The last 2 seasons that Swansea's come to Bramall Lane, and it's just Bramall Lane, yeah, obviously we've got a good team. We've got a lot of good players. I don't think we've been playing particularly well recently, but they just play out from the back and lose it so much. And do you know what? If I was a Swansea fan, that would infuriate me so much. You know, when you're playing a good team, just get it up the field. Don't mess around when you've got Iliman and Dye and even Billy Sharp sniffing around. The man's done it all his career. Asander Berger, what are you doing? Stop passing it around the back. Like, if you're up against good players, kick it long. They can't score when it's in their half. Like, I don't.
No, you are right, and I agree that at Bramall Lane they were weak. They were easy to play against. You know, they've got other things going on as well after a really bad January. But this is about Blackpool. Excuse me, apologies. This is about Blackpool for me. They've got no wins.
This is about Blackpool.
Head up a Blackpool. But yeah, no wins in 13. I thought McCarthy, Bowler, Tribal were going to come in and really have an instant impact and really turn their season around. But it's just not seen any material impact of that yet. They're not going and beating Rotherham at home. I just think this is a step too far. I think Swansea are a better team. And regardless of how poor they were at Bramall Lane, I think they've got enough to win this. And I think they need this. And so they'll come out with a much better performance.
Yeah. Completely agree. Well, the last home game they did really well. Oh, wait a second. No, they didn't. They lost 4-3, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to the team that absolutely hammered them in the last game, Sheffield United. And I was torn between my score and your score. I think 2-1, 2-2, or 1-2 the other way. I think that's how this game's going to finish. But it's whoever turns up on the day. This is the biggest game of the week. This is the biggest game of the season for both teams, I would have thought. It's going to be a tight one.
Yeah, it's exactly that. This is going to be one of them games where Borough have got to win. They're going to come out and throw absolutely everything at United, because if they've got any chance of chasing this down, they've got to win this game. I think for the rest of the Championship and the neutrals, they'll probably sit there and say they'd like to see Borough win this because they'll want to see a promotion race. They'll want to see more than just us and Burnley walking away. Whereas for United, this has become a do not lose. I think with the Watford score, with the Luton score at the weekend, United have built a gap to the teams that aren't Borough. So now the gap to Borough, just maintain it. And so whatever happens, they'll still only be the team chasing us. They'll be the closest one. If United win this, I do think it's all over. But I'm not sure that they will win this one. I think it's going to be a really, really close game. And I think with the do not lose, it's always dangerous to be thinking like that. And it's probably my fault because I'm telling everybody that's how I'm thinking. So I think this is going to be really close. I think it's going to be a fantastic game to watch. So anybody who gets the opportunity, I think we're red button. Are we on Sky? Are we live game?
I'm not sure, to be honest. Good shout. But we're going to both be there, so that's why we.
Yeah, I'm going to say, it doesn't matter to me. I'll be at Bramall Lane. But if you do get the chance to watch this, I would take that opportunity because I think this will be a really, really good game.
Daniel's gone for his banker. A 0-0 draw.
It literally, the timing of that couldn't have been better. This is going to be a really, really, really good game. Watch it. 0-0 banker. Perfect.
Charlie's going for a mad 1-0 away win for Middlesbrough. Charlie, I don't think that's mad at all. I think that Middlesbrough could pull something off. Middlesbrough's been fantastic. So if we think we're going to go into this game and roll them over, we've got another thing coming. No. However, when teams come to Bramall Lane and try and go at us, we pick them off quite a lot of the time. But I don't think we've had a better side than Borough. Well, we're going to have Borough. Obviously, Burnley were good, but we smashed them. So let's see what happens. Elaine's saying it is the main event on Sky. It is a main event. Let's be honest. It should be anyway. But hopefully the same thing that happened last year happens this year. But Chris Wilder's not the manager anymore, and we don't have more Gibbs White doing cheeky little flicks into the bottom corner.
I'd forgotten about that Gibbs White goal.
Let's not think about it. Let's not think about it. He's not here anymore. It's devastating. Let's not think about it. But what I will say is that, do you know what would be hilarious if we finish 1 or 2 points in front of Middlesbrough? Because at the end of the season, because Chris Wilder would have won us promotion.
Agent Wilder.
Agent Wilder. Anyway, let's move on to the final game. And I've not bankered one yet because banker. I think that West Brom are going to come back in this game and absolutely smash Blackburn Rovers to pieces. 2-0.
Yeah, I can see it coming. I just feel as though West Brom have lost a little bit of form recently. They've lost 2 in 3. Poor performance at Birmingham. They had that little bit of what was happening with Corberan that went on just for a few days, and that did look to have destabilised them ahead of the derby. They will want to respond, but Blackburn just like doing one extreme to the next. They like going on their little mimi runs, and they had such a long time without drawing. They now draw every game they play, and I am keen to get on board with the Blackburn meme, and I think they'll draw again.
There we go. I think there's a couple of draws in there, but there's also a lot of West Brom wins, and I hope that's going to be the case. I hope Chris is absolutely bang on, because that'll mean 6 lovely points coming my way, and finally I will kind of gain some ground back on you, because it's getting embarrassing right now.
It is, yeah. I agree. It is,
really
yeah.
Not good. What isn't embarrassing is that you've not been blurry at all the way through this stream. So a big shout out to Ollie's internet. Go on, lad.
Yeah. All we had to do was stop using the Ethernet cable, and apparently everything now works. So instead of Ollie McSlightly blurry, I'm not Ollie blurry at all. It's really hard to say McSlightly blurry. I'm just throwing
Ollie
it out there.
Try
it at home. Everybody try it. It's really hard to not go blurry.
Yeah, everybody do that right now. And while you're doing that, also hit the like button as well, because we need at least 100 likes on this video. This is the video that doesn't get the most likes, so make sure it gets loads and loads of likes in just this one. Next week you can have off. This one needs to have at least 100 likes. I'm doing an experiment. What can I say?
Okay.
Anyway, let's leave it there. Thank you everyone for being here. As always, it really helps. We really enjoy doing these predictions live with you all, and you all getting involved in the chat. Also, if you're watching this afterwards as a video, make sure you put them in the comments right now, and we will see you when hopefully I've caught back up on Ollie. Have a good one.